Namaskar, Adab, Shasrekal और खुशामदीद. Very good evening to all of you people. This is your Master DJ Harsh PM who is going to talk about educational loans and that too specifically for studying abroad. There are a lot of students who are actually right now thinking to study abroad because of limited options available in the country. Now, first of all, after thinking of studying abroad, the biggest problem or the biggest challenge that comes to a student is the finance, because most of the students who are having that much of capability, who have the caliber to go outside, who have the talent, but they lack in finances. Now, the biggest question comes that, is there any possible way with which a humble background student can also go abroad, study there? Although the scholarship options are there, but despite having scholarships, there are other expenses as well. First expense being that the proof of funds needs to be shown on your bank account, that minimum this much amount in your bank account is needed for your visa application to get processed. Second is the amount that is required to stay in that foreign country, and a lot of countries are very expensive. For example, if you go to France, if you go to Italy, if you go to USA, these countries are not at all cheap. Next, after this, the next problem comes that a lot of countries do have different type of regulations. Like most of the countries abroad, they do mandatory for a health insurance for any student going to that country for studying abroad. So all these expenses do mount a lot on any humble background family, and hence the obvious question comes that whether any educational loan, any other financial assistance is possible if along with scholarship, if the student does not have that capacity to pay these other bills apart from their tuition fees. And at the same time, this next question comes that whether if a student is not getting any scholarship, then also is it possible to study abroad or not? So in this video, I'm going to talk about all these points, and believe me, it is very much possible. A lot of students from very humble background are going outside India, making their dreams come true, making their careers outstanding, and once they are settled very well, they are repaying their loan pretty awesomely. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get into the video. So first of all, if you are thinking to study abroad and thinking to take a loan, now what I'm going to cover in this particular video: why educational loan is required, types of loan, which all types of loan is actually available in the market right now, 8 essential steps to fund your overseas education, and then top schemes. Where is there any other top schemes which you can actually take or avail to get the benefit of it? Okay, so first of all, why educational loan? So I have already given you a brief or a good length of explanation that why education loan is required, because a lot of students do require that education loan, and without that they won't be able to study abroad. Now moving forward, types of loan. So there are two types of loan. First is called as secured loan, and another is called as unsecured loan. As the name suggests, secured loan is a loan where you give something as a guarantee, something as a collateral, and hence that loan is a secured loan for a bank, because these are banking terms. So say for example, if you are taking a 1 crore rupees loan and you are giving like your land, your building, your something of that sort, your gold, as a guarantee that if I do not repay this loan, you can take the amount from this collateral, then it is very easy for the banks to provide you the loan, because they have already got a guarantee, and hence this is called as a secured loan. Now, although this is a very good option and here the loan process is very smooth, but obviously this is very rare, because if a student does already have a property worth 1 crore rupees or gold worth 1 crore rupees, he will or she will also be having that much fund with which he or she can fund his or her own education. But this is very rare that a student does not have money, but he or she has a lot of properties. So hence, secured loans is a very rare option, or very rarely exercised option. Now, most of the students do come to the second category, which is called as unsecured loans. Most of the students does not have any funds also, and do not have any kind of collateral also with which they can give the proof to the bank that you can take this as a collateral and I would be repaying back your loan. If I don't, you can sell out this particular collateral. And at the same time, most of the middle class Indian families, they don't have a guarantor also who can guarantee a 1 crore rupees loan. So hence, the unavoidable need for an unsecured loan comes up, and here the majority market works. Now let me tell you the entire detail about secured and unsecured loans. So first of all, in secured loans, mostly these loans are sanctioned by public sector banks, even private sector banks are also there. Here the interest rates are low because this is a secured loan, so bank does not have any percentage of risk here, and hence they offer low interest rates. Secured loans are the loans that are secured by that I have already explained. Now let's talk about unsecured loans. So in this unsecured loans, this unsecured loan depends on a lot of factors because here you are not giving any collateral. So here, instead of using assets as a guarantee, lenders approve unsecured loans based on student's profile, university and course and reputation, because they don't have any other thing to actually look into. It's only your personality, your own candidature. So say for example, if you are a student who has already qualified JEE mains, JEE advanced, and you have got almost 90% marks in your SAT examination, or 1590 marks out of 1600 in SAT examination, this actually gives an idea that you are a very bright student. So most likely case, you will become very good or very outstanding once you complete your degree. So this gives a confidence, and based on this confidence, the private lenders, the private banks and the government banks do take a call that whether they have to give loan to you or not. Although this is a very subjective call, there is no written criteria for this, that if a student has these parameters then you can give, and if a student does not have these criteria, you should not give. There's no written rule about it. Hence, university reputation, the course reputation. So say for example, if you are going to University of Harvard University, obviously this is a very reputed university. Every bank, every private lender would be very happy giving you loan, because they know that a Harvard graduate would not be sitting idle or would not be jobless, because this is Harvard University is one of the best university of the entire world. So based on university reputation, your own reputation, course reputation, the loan is given. Fine. Now moving forward, unsecured loan does not require collateral. It is given based on the credit worthiness. So a good credit score is essential for approval. Now this is essential for some banks, some private institutions, but not for all. So here, so say for example, if your father works in a government organization, or if your father has a very good credit history, he has taken loans, he has paid loans well, then banks do have a belief that okay, he is a common man, a law-abiding citizen. So a law-abiding citizen would not be thinking of absconding after taking the loan. So if you are a law-abiding citizen, all these things would be proved using your credit score, your income tax returns, all such data, all such documents. So if your father, if your parents, if your family does have that report or that document, it would be easy for you to get that loan. Okay. Next is unsecured education loans are available up to 7.5 lakh rupees from banks. This is Indian national banks, because this rule has been given by RBI. So Reserve Bank of India has given this loan to all the private and government banks in India, that unsecured loans can be only till 7.5 lakh rupees. After that, if you have to give the loan, you need to give that secured loan. But this rule only applies to government and private nationalized banks. This rule does not hold for private lenders. So hence, if you need a loan above 7.5 lakh, which you would anyways be needing that, so then private lenders come into play, NBFCs come into play, and there is no such limitation. So hence, most of the students go for NBFCs and private lenders for a amount higher than 7.5 lakh rupees. Now, as a result, students are exploring alternative opportunities such as NBFCs or private lenders. Now, there is one term which you need to actually understand, that is called as moratorium period. Now, what is this moratorium period? Please try to understand it very clearly. A moratorium period is a period during which the student is not obligated to make payments. So basically, so say for example, if you have taken a loan right now and you are starting your studies right now, like after 2 months or 3 months, you are starting your studies. So obviously, if you have taken a loan right now, and between these 2 months when you are going to start your college, you won't be able to repay back that loan, because you don't have money. If you would have money, why would you have taken the loan? Even during your studies, there is very less chance that you would be earning that grade with which you can actually repay your loan. So then what happens, that a student is not able to repay the loan until his or her entire degree is completed and he or she gets a job. So till that time, the banks need to wait. And this waiting period is called as moratorium period. Now, in India and in across the world, Most of the government and private banks do follow this moratorium period rule, and they don't ask for any loan repayment from the student till the time he gets a degree. And even in Indian banks, there is a rule that even once your degree is completed, after completion of your degree, they will wait for somewhere around 6 months to 1 year, assuming that it will take some time for you to get a job. Now, this case does not happen in a lot of private lenders and NBFCs. Although this NBFCs and private lenders, I have just now spoken about this, that NBFCs and private lenders are easy guys. Here you can get the loans without collateral, but they generally don't allow the moratorium period. And as the student takes the loan, they expect that even if you are not able to pay the principal amount, you should be able to pay the interest amount. So say for example, if you have taken a loan somewhere, just an example, if you have taken a loan of 50 lakh rupees. So if they are charging 10% interest, they are expecting you that you should pay 5 lakh rupees every year from the starting date of the loan. Because if the interest rate is 10 lakh rupees, 10% per annum, then they are expecting you to pay 5 lakh rupees per annum as the interest charges. And once your degree gets completed, they would be giving, after that you can pay that principal amount also and the interest amount also. This is what the expectation is from private lenders. Okay, so moratorium period is an important point to understand here. Now moving forward, let's talk about the difference between banks and NBFCs and from where you should take the loan. First of all, the loan amount and collateral. So here banks can give loan up to 2 crore rupees for top institutions, but a lot of top institutions do not get covered in 2 crore rupees. Here in NBFCs and private lenders, they have an eligibility, they can give loan up to 1 crore rupees only. Now, interest rate is generally 8.5, 8.6% to 13%. In different banks, the interest rate is different. Here it is almost, it starts at from 11%, it can go up to 20% also. Because here in NBFCs and private lenders, the loan processing is very easy. Hence, most of the people do go there. But since they give mostly unsecured loans, so they charge higher rate of interest. Next is proceeding time and disbursement. So it takes generally 20 to 30 days, but they are pretty faster. They are kind of tech companies, startup companies, so they are pretty fast here. Processing fees is around 10,000 to 15,000. Here they charge the processing fees somewhere around 1 to 2%. So say for example, if you have got a loan of 50 lakh rupees, they would be charging you 50,000 rupees. So that depends on the company to company. Some of them don't even charge any processing fees. They simply charge the interest, but it depends on the company. Next is repayment term. So longer term, here in banks, you get a longer term because the banks do work according to rules and regulations which government has made. In private companies, the rules and regulations are a little lenient. So they don't work with that much strict or that much ease of rules and regulations. And hence here, shorter tenure is given, kind of 10 years. Here you can get even up to 15 years. Full moratorium period is given during study time, but here moratorium period is not given. You have to prepay back the interest amount. Okay. Now moving forward, how to get student loan for study abroad. Now what you need to do then. So here, first of all, you have to research your options, that which all college, which all countries you want to go in. Choose your destination and institution. This is a very important part, that which country you are actually trying to get into. So say for example, right now if you have chosen that you have to go to Ukraine, no bank, no private lender would be giving you loan because Ukraine is a completely war-broken country. So you have to choose your destination. So say for example, even if you right now you choose to go to Canada, Canada is having a lot of excessive workforce and Canada is trying to flush them out. So the job market in Canada is pretty bad. So if you choose Canada as your study location, probably the banks might refuse to give you the loan. So you have to see that that destination should be very popular and very friendly in allowing the international migrants. So you have to choose your destination. Then after that you have to calculate your expenses. So say for example, Italy is also very friendly for foreigners, but in Italy the cost of living is pretty high. On the second is UK. UK is again not that bad option, pretty good option, but it has got very high cost of living. So then you have to calculate the destination based on your living expenses, because you have to sustain there also. It's not only about the cost of your education. Next is understanding your eligibility criteria, whether you are eligible for that country or not, or for that college or not. Research your loan terms, that what are the loan terms from which company you are trying to get the loans, because different companies do have different type of terms and conditions. Next, apply for a loan. Once you are done with that, you can apply for a loan, then plan for a repayment, and then confirm with the university that whether they are ready to give you the admission or not, and will they be giving you any scholarships or not. Okay, so this is how this entire process works out. Now moving forward, I have made pretty good amount of videos that which country, which college you should choose to go for studying abroad. I have given these many options here, but there are many more videos available on this channel. If you have yet not seen that, kindly go and see these options, country-wise options, college-wise options, so you can see them. And this will help you in deciding that which country or which college you want to go for. Okay. Now moving forward, choose your destination institution pretty wisely, then calculate your expenses. So calculate your expenses, which I have already said that what is going to be your tuition fees, accommodation fees, health fees, insurance fees, and then your food and travel and every such thing. Then eligibility criteria that you need to confirm with the college. Moving forward, documents required. Now here the documents required, these documents are required by the banks. I'm not talking about the documents required by the colleges for the admission. That is a separate point. Now by banks, they need your mark sheet, 10th and 12th graduation if you have done graduation, or if you are going for graduation, then they'll be asking only for 10th and 12th. Proof of admission to the course, because without this, no loan would be sanctioned. So first you need to connect with the university, get an offer letter that okay, you are getting admitted to that university. They have given you the offer letter. Then only you can apply for the loan. Then schedule of expenses for course. You need to give a complete detailed explanation that you would be needing this much amount of money at this point of time. So say for example, if a university has an tuition fees of around 20 lakh rupees per annum. So 20 lakh rupees per annum into 480 lakh rupees. So bank won't be giving you 80 lakh rupees on the day one. They would be giving you 20 lakh rupees on the first day when you have to go to the college, so that you can deposit that amount to the college. And that amount won't be coming to your account. That amount would be directly going to that college bank's account. That is how it works out. So you need to give them the entire expense schedule, that at this point of time I would be needing the first semester fees. At this point of time I would be needing the amount for my health expenses or for my staying, fooding and lodging expenses. You need to give that entire detail. Next is copies of letter of conferring the scholarship. If you have got any scholarship, free ship, tuition fees, favor, something of that sort, this would help you in getting the bank loan. Passport size photographs, and then asset liability statement. This is very important. So bank also needs to see that whether you are not in huge debt here in India, and what is your asset documents. Like if you have a lot of asset, then the bank will be very happy giving you the loan. Okay, because they would be knowing that you are a rich person, like that. Next, bank statement of at least 6 months. They need to see your financial transactions, what is your credit history. After that, permanent account number, PAN card number is called here in India, of student, parent or co-applicant. So in a lot of times student does not have PAN card number, but they should have. If they don't have, then they will be asking for parents PAN card number, but a student should also have a PAN card number. Next is Aadhaar card is required, kind of mandatory here in India. Passport mandatory for students studying abroad, because without passport you won't be able to go there. Okay. Now, NBFCs and private lenders, what's the difference? So, passport is required here. Aadhaar card, PAN card, 10-12 mark sheet, admission letter from the university's bank statement, credit report. Mostly the same here in private lender also. Valid passport, proof of address, college admission proof, credit report, income proof, scholarship, and acceptable financial statement. So, mostly the same thing for both of them. Now, what are other documents required? So, if your parents are salaried employee, they need to submit these documents. Last 2 years income tax report, form 16, last 3 months salary slips, and last 6 months bank statement. If your parents are in business, then they need to submit these documents. Last 3 years income tax report for business people, business address proof, audited balance sheet of your parents' business, last 12 months bank statement. So for business entities, it is a little tough to get the loan. Okay. Now moving forward, what are other documents? If your parents are in agriculture, they need to get the agriculture income certificate issued by Tehsildar or revenue officer, with which they will be able to prove their income. Okay. Now moving forward, what is the loan process? So first, either you can go for an online application, apply on the website directly, or you can visit the branch. But generally, the old banks do have this option of visiting the branch, but the new companies or the private lenders, they generally work online. Okay, although you can ask for their branch address, and it's better to go to branch so that you can also see that private financing companies, that whether it is at which location it is situated, and what's the scenario there. Okay. Next is await loan processing and approval. Once you get the approval, thereafter you can move ahead and you can inform your college that you have got the loan and you are coming to the college. Okay. Now moving forward, loan disbursement, tuition fees. The bank can directly transfer the tuition fees to the university as per their fee schedule, semester wise or annually, whichever you have submitted. Post that, proof of funds, living expense. Now here, a lot of companies or a lot of banks do even support the student with the amount in their account which they need to show for getting the visa, because a lot of countries do have this requirement that they want to see a certain amount in the student's bank account, then only they will allow the visa. So say for example, if a country is asking that you need to show 30 lakh rupees in your bank account, no matter if the university fees is just 1 lakh rupees per annum, but they want to see you having 30 lakh rupees in your bank account. So at this time, bank will help you by sending the amount in your account, with which you can show that amount in your bank account to the visa officials. They will approve the visa. After that, you can send back this amount to the bank. This happens. Okay. Now moving forward, which are your options? So now I'm just putting some private financing companies here. Why am I putting private financing companies? Because there are a lot of government options like SBI, a famous bank, ICICI, thereafter HDFC, ICICI, HDFC, and many more such banks. But these all banks do require collateral. Above 7.5 lakh, they would be requiring collateral. Without collateral, you won't be able to take the loan. So hence, I am cutting out these options because these are already well-known options. If you have the option of secured loan or putting anything for the collateral, you can go to these banks and it's a better option. But if you don't have collateral, which I'm assuming most of the people do not have, then you can go for private financiers. And these private financiers are little lesser known because they are not as famous as these big banks. So I'm just telling a bit of detail about few of the private finances. Like Empower Financing is one of the option. Here they offer loans only for master's student, covering up to 100% of education and living expense in US and Canada only. So this company is primarily focusing in US and Canada only, and that too only for master's student, not for bachelor student. Now Empower loans do not require cosigner collateral. So here they are not requiring any collateral cosigner. Borrowing process with fixed interest rate. Fixed interest rate is around 10%, 10 or 11%. That's also not that huge. So if you are doing automatic recurring payment, they will give you some 0.25% interest discount. Provides complementary services including visa support, career guidance, and assistance in building US credit history. So they are charging very less interest rate because they are primarily focusing in two countries, US and Canada, and that too they are focusing only on master's student. Next is this is max interest only period is capped at maximum 30 months from the disbursement of date. So maximum 2.5 years you will be getting interest only period. After that you'll have to pay the principal also. Interest only payment will start just after you starting 1 month after the school receives the fund. So just after 1 month they will start the interest. They will start charging the interest. So you'll have to give the interest also. Now repayment terms: after the grace period, borrowers enter 10-year repayment term for principal and interest. So you can take maximum to 10 years for repaying back this amount. Okay. Now moving forward, Prodigy Finance is the second option. Prodigy Finance international postgraduate students. So here also they also are offering loans to postgraduate student. University and course covering up to 100% of the cost of attendance, tuition plus living expenses. Their funding model is based on future earning. Now here the good part is that their funding is based on the future earning potential rather than the credit history. So like this Empower Financing do give you loan based on your credit history, your parents' credit history. But here Prodigy Finance do gives you loan based on your future earning potential. So if you have a very good college and they are seeing that you will be able to earn very well in the future, they would be giving you the loan. They don't look for your parents' credit history. They don't look for your parents' credit history. Okay. Now moving forward, here the interest rate is pretty high, around 15% per annum. Now this is a little higher. Now charge during the study and grace periods. Begin 6 months after the course completion. So you can start repayment after 6 months of your course completion, but you'll have to give the interest just after you take the loan from the first month itself. Next is they give repayment from 7 years to 20 years, providing the flexibility. Fine, borrowers can repay the loan early without any additional fees. That's great. Now moving forward, without requiring creditworthy, so they don't need any creditworthiness, any cosigner, any collateral. That's great. offers education loan without requiring property cash deposit. Fine, many students find finance uses simple interest calculation helping borrowers money. Take care. Next is, this is a scheme run by Government of India. Now in this Government of India is also running a scheme where they are helping OBC category students and EWS, economically weaker section students, to study abroad. So if any student of OBC category or EWS category want to study abroad, government will be giving 100% interest subsidy on education loans. So they won't be charging any interest at all. That's great. During the moratorium period. So during the moratorium period means during your education, when your education is going on, they won't be charging you any interest. Now, once your education is over, then they will start charging the interest. Fine, that's great. Now, next is, this scheme is only for Masters, MPhil or PhD programs. Abroad, approved programs in abroad must have taken an education loan from a scheduled bank under the IBA education loan scheme. So, you have to take the loan from a scheduled bank only. And the subsidy applies to loan up to 20 lakh rupees only. So, if you are taking, you can take even 50 lakh rupees loan. But for the first 20 lakh rupees, this subsidy would be given 100% interest subsidy. They won't be charging any interest on that. Super great. Now, fine. Moving forward, applicable banks. So, SBI, PNB, ICICI, HDFC, all such private and government banks are applicable here for this loan. You can take loan from any of these government banks or private banks, and this scheme would be applicable to you. Now, moving for course period plus 1 year or course period plus 6 months, that's the moratorium period. Now, here, other banks, I have just mentioned that these government and private banks, what are their interest rates? This interest rate is a little lower side compared to the private finances. They charge somewhere around 11% to 15% or even 20%. But these banks do charge somewhere around 8% to 11%. 8% to 11%. So, they have a humble interest of rate. Processing fees is also not that high, but here the loans must be secured. Fine. Now, so I have given more guidance link here in the description box. So, after listening all of this entire information, you might be thinking that, sir, I need some help, I need some guidance. So, I have given a link in the description box with which you can fill your details. Someone from my team would be calling you and they will be helping you out with all your queries. And they would be helping you with your counseling as well. So if you need any help in counseling or if you need any further detail or help or any information, you can just fill out that Google form written in the description box and you will get a call and you will get the help. Okay, that filling that Google form is absolutely free of cost. So do not get worried about the charges. Fine. So ladies and gentlemen, that was all for this session. I hope you loved and enjoyed the session. With this, it's time to say a goodbye. See you all in the next session. Till then, bye-bye. Take care. Good night and subscribe to the channel.